Now I'm going to share the screen and we're going to talk our way through. Okay. So you're looking at the dimension drawing from the assignment, which is 8 foot flat by 4 foot. It's telling you that the end pieces, the rails, these are called rails, right? We have rails. Let me put this over here, okay? We have rails, we have toggles, and we have stiles, right? So the end pieces, as we know from our work in the Fab Lab, are the rails. The internal pieces are called toggles, and the sides are called stiles. Now, your job when you're dimensioning is to identify these pieces ahead of time that need to be cut. So let's look at this. First and foremost, we see that the total dimension, let me zoom in here a little bit, okay? So you can see that let me go down here. So you can see from the end point here, which is signified there, to the end point there is 8 feet. But if we go in even further, we can see that the corner piece here is only part, is taking away part of the 8 feet, and it's taking away the same amount on both sides. Now, this is where we get into our discussion of a nominal versus actual dimension of what wood. Let's assume for the moment that this is built out of 1 inch by 3 inch nominal, which is equal to it's equal to 3/4 inch by 2 1/2 inch. So that's going to tell you something, okay? When we look at this, we can see clearly that it is on edge. So we're going for the 3/4 inch dimension here. We're not going for the 2.5 inch dimension. Now, I'm going to stop the screen share and come back and share something with you about this. In a real plan, what you would do is you would verify this by checking the scale. But for our purposes, that's not necessary. I'm going to go back to the screen share now. So as I said, let me get this out of the way here. Get this thing out of the way from the bottom. All right. So as I said, this is 3/4 of an inch. And we know that this is 3/4 of an inch. Well, that tells us that actually this piece is not 8 feet long, correct? It's actually 8 feet minus 3/4 of an inch plus 3/4 of an inch. So you have 1.5 inches subtracted from 8 feet, which comes to 7 feet. And let me just put that down here, right? In other words, we know that for the stiles, we need 2 pieces at 7 feet, 10 and 1/2 inches. Let's compare that to the rails. The rails are actually truly 4 feet, correct? Let's zoom in. Zoom in. You see, when we look at the rail, let me get it so that you can see the whole rail. The rail is actually 4 feet. It runs completely across. There is nothing that we have to cut in order to make it. Well, other than make a 4 foot cut, okay? So we know that we need 2 at 4 feet. So let's examine now our 3 toggles. We have 3 toggles, yes? Well, we know that this distance is 4 feet. We also know that this is on edge, so that this is 3/4 of an inch, and this is 3/4 of an inch, yes? So, therefore, 3/4 of an inch plus 3/4 of an inch subtracted from 4 feet, right? So 3/4 of an inch plus 3/4 of an inch is 1.5 inches. So it's 4 feet minus 1.5 inches. So that, let's put that on down here. Okay, so that would be 4 feet minus 1.5 inches, which would be 3 feet. At 3 feet, 10 and 1/2 inches. So that's how you arrive at the cut list. Now, having said that, it needs to be organized in a particular way. Come back to you for a moment. Now, having said that, it has to be organized in a particular way so that it's easy for you to work with in the shop. We're making a plan so that when you come into the shop, you can work as efficiently as possible. You plan your work and then you work your plan. So let's go back to the screen share. So when you'll notice here, I've set up a little table. Well, we're going to put all the elements that we need to cut into that table. The first thing I do is I name the parts. So we're going to have obviously 3 parts here. So I'm making my table a little bigger. So I'm going to put in rails. Well, let me capitalize that. Rails, toggles, stiles. We know the nominal size of the wood. Now remember, the nominal size of the wood is not the actual size of the wood, but we refer to wood by its nominal size. So the nominal size of the wood that we're using in every case here is 1/3. So that's really quite a simple operation. So we're just going to go 1 inch by, let me use a lowercase, by 3 inch. 1 inch by 3 inch. 1 inch by 3 inch. 1 inch by 3 inch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the sizes that we need. We need 2 rails at 4 feet, right? Oops, sorry about that. 2 rails at 4 feet. So we're going to put 4 feet, right? And the number of pieces that we need is 2. We look back up at the toggles. We see we need 1, 2, 3 of them at 3 feet, 10.5 inches. That's 3 feet, 10.5 inches. And we need 3. And then our stiles, we have 2. And as we see here, they are at 7 feet, 10.5 inches. So they're at 7 feet, 10.5 inches. And we need 2 of them. This is what we call a cut list. And let's do this. This is what a carpenter works from, is a cut list. When you come into a shop, the foreman or whoever you're working with will hand you a cut list, and if you're just doing that part of the gig that day, that's what you'll do, is you'll cut everything on that list. And if you're building a project of your own, you will assemble this cut list and then cut everything before you even move on to assembly. I hope this clarifies everything. Now, I want to note something. This is different than the project I gave you, but it describes the thinking that you have to work through, which is you have a drawing that you've done. From the drawing, you extract the dimensions. Those dimensions are reduced to, what you're going to need, and that is put into a table so that you can work from it efficiently and cleanly. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you. I'll see you Monday.